Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for the paycheck that I'll be receiving on February 29th, 2024 using the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. Okay, so first off, this is actually my second time recording this video. I don't know what happened, but I recorded it a few days ago and uploaded it to my computer, edited it all together, and then it wouldn't process. And I tried 3 different times. It was incredibly frustrating. I have not done a budget with me in a while. I want to do a budget with me for this paycheck and a cash envelope stuffing. So I am currently filming this at 10 o'clock at night on the 28th. So I'm not at home alone. So if you hear background noise, I apologize. But, we're not in an optimal situation right now. As you can see, everything in my monthly spread is checked off. All my bills have been paid. All my savings challenges have been contributed to. This is actually my 3rd paycheck for the month of February. It's a short month, but the way that it worked out, because of the leap day, we have a 3 paycheck month. So this paycheck is going to be used to pay bills in March. And I do have did I do my March? Yeah, here it is. So it's these bills here. So we're going to cut forward to my paycheck budget tracker and we're going to zoom on in. As usual, we are going to start in the inflow section. The only thing that I put in here is my budgeted amount for my full-time job, which is $3,100. You will see that changing come next month. We do have a few bills to pay with this paycheck. We've got my rent, which is $600, Spotify, which is $15, Audible, which is $20, and Kindle Unlimited, which is $15. Now, I have Audible because I was able to get a super deep discount on it. I didn't know how long that discount was going to be in effect for, and I have had the plan to cancel Audible once it bumps up to its full price. In the month of February, it did bump up to its full price. So I have actually paused my Audible membership. I had already done my budget when that happened, so it is still budgeted here, which is fine. That's just going to be $20 extra for my checking account cushion. But I did pause it, so this Audible of $20 isn't actually going to come out. The reason I paused it and didn't cancel it is because I do still have 3 credits that I need to use. So once I use those credits up, I'm going to cancel Audible. I don't think it's worth $15+ a month. I don't listen to enough audiobooks to justify it, especially with Spotify now having 15 free listening hours of audiobook per month. I'll definitely use that. Therefore, I can save money by not having Audible. So all of our bills with this paycheck equals $650. And if I subtract that from the $3,100 we budgeted my income to be, I am left with $2,450, which we're bringing down to the variable expense section of the paycheck budget tracker. Now, for me, the different variable expenses that I have and the budgeted amounts for those categories do not change from paycheck to paycheck. That's just what works for me and for my budget. I always have groceries budgeted at $200, eating out at $100, gas at $75, and miscellaneous at $175. If we add all of that together, it does equal $550. And if I subtract that from the $2,450 we were left with after bills, I have $1,900 to bring up to the sinking fund section. Now, we're currently in the midst of my sinking fund snowball. What that means is that every pay period, I am saving $600 towards my sinking funds, because that's what all of my sinking funds added up to when I was contributing to every single one of them at the beginning of the year. Some of those sinking funds have reached goal. And instead of lowering the amount of money I put towards them each pay period, what I do is I take that extra money and I put it towards an envelope that hasn't reached goal yet, so that I can reach goal on all my envelopes more quickly. You're going to see as we go through this list where that extra cash has gone. So we have Black Friday getting its usual 15, Christmas getting its usual 25, car insurance and taxes getting its usual 120, but gifts is getting 115, which is well above what it usually gets. I think it usually gets $15. So that's where my extra cash is going this pay period. Giving is getting 50, household 20, home maintenance 100, baby 30, travel 100, and 25 for personal. Now, I did have somebody ask on one of my last budgeting videos what my baby category is for. I do not have children. I would like to have a child one day. My birthday's actually in a couple days. I'm in my mid-30s. I am single, and unfortunately, having a child biologically, carrying a child has a time limit on it. And so at this point and phase in my life, I want to pursue becoming a mother, having a child within the next few years. I need a house first. That is the number one priority. But once I do find a home, once I do have a home, I want to put more energy and effort into figuring out how I'm going to get pregnant and have a baby. And I'm thinking that's going to happen with me as a single person. And so that means it's going to be very expensive for me to try to get pregnant and have a baby. So why not start saving for that now, even if it is $30 a pay period? So that's why I have started this baby envelope, even though I don't have a child. Now, as I said earlier, all of these sinking funds add up to $600. If I subtract that from the $1,900 we're left with after bills and variable expenses, we have $1,300. After I initially put this budget together, though, I did change things around a little bit. My $1,300 came down to my extra debt section. I am going to be putting $300 towards Sikorsky, which is my car loan, which is going to leave us with $1,000. That was going to go automatically into my house savings. But I was in a car accident in December. My car finally got fixed early February, and I really depleted my car maintenance sinking fund with needing to cover my deductible, but also when my car was getting fixed, I had just hit 15,000 miles, and so it was due for its first big checkup. So the deductible plus the cost of that checkup really took a large chunk out of my car maintenance sinking fund. And I was planning on getting it back up to $1,000, but after the accident, it was actually my first ever car accident. I don't know. I just almost feel like $1,000 isn't quite enough. It doesn't make me feel comfortable enough. My car is new. It's not even 2 years old yet. I'm not anticipating things like a new battery, new tires for another few years. But worst case scenario, I don't want to be in a situation where I don't have enough money in my car maintenance sinking fund. So after everything that happened with that accident and really kind of making sure that I'm making myself feel comfortable with where my sinking funds are at, I decided that I want my car maintenance sinking fund to be at $2,000. I'll contribute to it until it hits $2,000, and then I'll stop for the next probably couple years. If I use cash out of it, I'll replenish it till that $2,000 and then stop. So because of that, and because it barely has a few $100s in it right now, I decided to put a huge chunk of money towards it this pay period. So I'm putting $1,000 towards it. It won't be at $2,000 with this contribution, so you will see me putting more money towards it in the coming pay periods, but I'm going to feel a heck of a lot better after having this chunk of money in there. So no house savings this pay period. I'm okay with that. I'd rather have that money go to my car maintenance sinking fund. And after that $1,000, we'll be left with zero. Let me flip the page over and we're going to talk about our cash envelope breakdown. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. So this is what allows me to know what money, what bills I have to take out of my checking account when I get paid. I have my variable expenses listed at the top here. Groceries is missing because I purchase my groceries online, so I have to pay for them online. So I actually have a separate checking account that I put my grocery money into every pay period. That's why it's not listed here. With my variable expense categories, the denominations that I use are ever changing based on my savings challenges, because any money that I'm putting towards savings challenges comes out of these envelopes. So for this pay period, eating out is getting 100 and a 50, 220s and a 10. Gas is getting 75 in its usual 50, 20 and 5. Miscellaneous is getting 175, but we're doing that in 250s, 220s, 210s, 25s and 5 singles. With regards to sinking funds, it's always going to be largest denominations possible. And then with this pay period, we saw earlier, I'm going to be paying my rent for March. And so I have that listed here because I take that out in cash and pay it in cash. So I'm going to have my $600, which I always, for no specific reason, but I've always randomly pulled it out in 300s and 650s. All of this added together is $1,550. That is what you're going to see me stuff in my envelopes when I get paid. On the 29th, I'm going to post that cash envelope stuffing on Saturday, March 2nd. I had to think of my dates there for a second. And that's going to be it for this budget with me. February is a very challenging month for me, for my budget, like a super, super challenging month for me. And I'll obviously get into more detail when I do my February budget recap, but there was a lot of money coming in. There was a lot of money going out, a ton of money going out in the month of February because of, the accident and my car finally getting fixed because of other things that happened in my life in February. And so, I haven't closed out my budget for February yet. Tomorrow's February 29th. I intend on closing it out tomorrow, and I'm very curious to see how it's all going to turn out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about the way that I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom, or how I budget in general, please don't hesitate to put them down below. If you're looking for trackers for savings, trackers for debt, savings challenges, cash envelopes, sinking funds envelopes, things like that, I do always have my Etsy shop linked down below in the description box, and you can find a ton of printables on there. And that's it. You'll see me in a couple days for my cash envelope stuffing. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.